Picture this. Your friend is crying in the kitchen. Again. Third time this month. The guy she called incredible turned out to be another emotionally unavailable jerk who disappears for 3 days without explanation. You're sitting across from her handing over tissues thinking, I told you, I warned you. I literally said he was trash. She blows her nose, looks at you with wet eyes, and says the phrase you've heard 100 times. Why do I always end up with jerks? Where are the normal guys? I just want someone kind and caring. 2 weeks later, she meets a new guy. And guess what? He's an exact copy of the previous one. Cocky, unpredictable, slightly toxic, and the whole thing starts over. Sound familiar? Today we're breaking down one of the most infuriating and simultaneously most fascinating paradoxes of female psychology. Why women say they want one thing, but choose the opposite. Why the nice guy loses. And what's actually happening in a woman's brain when she makes this choice. Spoiler. She's not lying to you, she's lying to herself. And that's far more interesting. Let's start with a thought experiment. Imagine you're a scientist, and you want to find out what kind of men women find attractive. Makes sense, right? Just ask them. That's exactly what researchers at Indiana University did in 2008. They gathered a group of 300 women of different ages, social backgrounds, and education levels, and gave them questionnaires with descriptions of men. The descriptions varied. One type, the nice guy, caring, attentive, stable, respectful, ready for a serious relationship. The other type, the bad boy, confident, cocky, unpredictable, slightly selfish with an I don't care aura. Women were asked to rate who they'd choose for a relationship. The result? The overwhelming majority chose the nice guy. Of course, who would have guessed? But then the scientists did something cleverer. They hooked up physiological sensors, heart rate, galvanic skin response, pupil dilation, everything that's impossible to fake. And you know what the sensors showed? The body responded to the bad boy. Heart rate increased, pupils dilated, skin got goosebumps. For the nice guy, the body responded roughly the same way it does to a weather forecast. The brain said one thing. The body said something completely different. And this isn't an isolated case. In 2014, psychologists from the University of Hertfordshire ran a similar experiment, but with real people. Not questionnaires, live dates. Women were introduced to two types of men. The first, polite, interested, asked questions about her, gave compliments. The second, acted distant, joked with a slight edge, showed minimal interest. After the date, women were asked, "Who would you like to see again?" Verbally, roughly split. But when they checked actual behavior, who the women texted first, who they searched for on social media, who they told their friends about, the picture was clear. The distant guy won by a landslide, not because he was better looking, not because he was smarter, but because he created one thing the nice guy cannot create. Uncertainty. Remember that word, uncertainty. It's the key to everything. In 2011, a study came out that flipped our understanding of female attraction on its head. It was conducted by scientists at the University of Virginia, and it was called something like, he loves me not. Uncertainty increases romantic attraction. The setup was simple. Women were shown men's profiles and told one of three things. Option 1. This man saw your profile and rated you very highly. He really likes you. Option 2. This man saw your profile and rated you average. Option 3. This man saw your profile. We don't know exactly how he rated you. Could be high, could be average. Which option generated the most attraction? If you're thinking the first one, you're wrong. The third. The uncertain one. Women were most attracted to the man whose feelings they couldn't decode. Why? Because uncertainty forces the brain to work, to think, to analyze. Does he like me or not? What did he mean? Why hasn't he texted? This occupies mental real estate, and the brain confuses "I keep thinking about him" with "I like him." This is called misattribution of arousal. The brain feels excitement but can't pinpoint the source, so it attributes it to attraction. The nice guy doesn't create this effect. He's transparent, predictable, safe. The bad boy? He's a walking mystery, and the female brain can't stop trying to solve it. But that's only half the story. Let's dig deeper, much deeper, into evolutionary biology. There's a theory that in scientific circles is called dual mating strategy. Sounds dry, but the substance is explosive. The idea is this. Over hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, the female brain was solving two problems simultaneously. Problem number one, find the best genes. A strong, dominant male whose offspring will be healthy, resilient, and competitive. Problem number two, find a reliable partner. Someone who will stick around, provide food, protect, and help raise the children. The problem is that these two tasks often point to different men. The male with the best genes, the alpha, usually isn't the most faithful partner. He's in demand, he has options. He's not going to sit at home and change diapers. And the reliable, loyal, caring man? He's wonderful for long-term survival. But his genes, well, let's say they're not the jackpot in the genetic lottery. So the female brain developed a compromise. A brilliant, brutal compromise. Choose the reliable one for the relationship, but feel attraction to the alpha. And here's where it gets really interesting. This conflict isn't theoretical. It happens in real time. Every month. In 2005, evolutionary psychologists discovered something that made jaws drop around the world. Female preferences in men shift throughout the menstrual cycle. Yes, you heard that right. During ovulation, and when the chance of conception is highest, women experience heightened attraction to masculine, dominant men, to strong jawlines, to deep voices, to cocky behavior, to bad boys. During the rest of the cycle, the preferences shift toward nice guys, caring, stable, with softer facial features. This is called the ovulatory shift, and it's been confirmed by dozens of studies, meaning literally, one day of the month she looks at you and thinks, "What a sweet, reliable man." 10 days later, she looks at that cocky stranger at the bar and feels an unexplainable pull. Her preferences aren't a constant. They're a pendulum, swinging between "I want good genes" and "I want a good father," and she doesn't even suspect it. But wait, it gets darker. A 2006 study from the University of New Mexico showed that during ovulation, women don't just become more attracted to bad boys. They start behaving differently in their existing relationships. Women in the ovulatory phase fantasize more about other men, flirt more, criticize their current partner more, and, pay attention, more often find flaws specifically in his masculinity. He's too soft. He could be more confident. I don't like how he acts around other people. She doesn't understand where this irritation came from. It came from the fact that her body is currently searching for a specific type of man, and her partner doesn't match that type. A week later, the irritation fades. She's content again, and genuinely doesn't understand what came over her. The cycle repeats every month. Now let's talk about the social side of this phenomenon, because biology is only the foundation. There are several more floors on top. We live in a culture that sends women a very clear message. You should want a nice guy. Movies, books, magazines, friends, mothers, everyone says the same thing. You need a kind, caring, respectful man. And the woman accepts this. Sincerely. She genuinely believes she wants exactly that, but then she meets a guy who shows up late to dates, doesn't text first, and jokes right on the edge. And she feels something the nice guy never triggered. And that's when cognitive dissonance kicks in. Her conscious mind says, "This is the wrong man." Her body says, "Oh yes, there he is." Which one wins? In the short term, almost always the body. And then, when the relationship with the bad boy collapses, and it almost always collapses, she returns to the belief, I need a nice guy. Until next time. This isn't hypocrisy. It's two brains in one head, the ancient brain and the modern brain. And they want different things. There's another aspect almost nobody talks about, narcissism. Research shows that people with narcissistic traits, confident, charismatic, slightly self-centered, make incredibly powerful first impressions. In the first minutes of meeting someone, a narcissist looks like the most charming person in the room. He speaks confidently. He maintains eye contact. He takes up space. He's genuinely funny. A 2010 study from the University of Berlin showed that narcissists receive significantly higher attractiveness ratings on first meeting than people with healthier psyches. The problem? This effect disappears after roughly 4 to 6 encounters, when the mask drops. But by that point, the emotional bond has already formed. Oxytocin has already been released. Attachment already exists. And now the woman is trapped. She knows he's a bad choice. Her friends tell her. Her mother tells her. Her own rational brain tells her. But the chemistry has already been triggered. And fighting oxytocin is like fighting gravity. Theoretically possible. Practically, very few manage it. And the final piece of the puzzle. Perhaps the darkest one. Many women, and many men too, let's be honest, confuse anxiety with attraction. When the bad boy doesn't call back, she gets nervous. When he flirts with someone else, she gets jealous. When he runs hot and cold, she's living on an emotional roller coaster. And all these emotions, anxiety, jealousy, insecurity, create a powerful neurochemical cocktail. Adrenaline, cortisol, dopamine. And the brain interprets this cocktail as passion. I feel so intensely, or this must be real love. No, it's stress. But the brain can't tell the difference. With the nice guy and what's calm, stable, predictable. And the brain interprets this as boredom. I don't feel anything. There's no spark. The spark isn't love. The spark is often anxiety disguised as attraction. But try explaining that to someone who's burning, so what do we end up with? First, this isn't women's fault. It's an evolutionary program that's hundreds of thousands of years old. It was built for a world that no longer exists, but it keeps running. Second, women aren't lying when they say they want a nice guy. Their conscious brain truly does want that. The problem is that attraction decisions aren't made by the conscious brain. Third, this isn't a death sentence. Understanding these mechanisms is the first step to stop being their slave. And this applies to both sexes. If you're a man, you don't need to become a bad boy. You need to understand what creates attraction. Confidence, unpredictability, the ability to lead. These can be developed without turning into a toxic jerk. If you're a woman and you recognize yourself in this video, know this. The fact that you feel a spark with someone doesn't mean he's the right choice. Sometimes the most boring option on paper is the best option in life. She says she wants kind and caring, and she truly does. With one part of her brain. The other part, ancient, wild, uncontrollable, wants something else entirely. She's not lying to you, she's lying to herself. And the scariest part, she doesn't even know it. Next time you hear, I just want a normal guy, remember this video and smile. Because now you know the truth. Subscribe to understand women better than they understand themselves. See you next time.